England have been a great side over the last 4 5 years, and a force to reckon with. And clearly for them, baseball was working for a certain period of time, but that novelty was going to wear off at some point in time.
Hello everyone, this is the Straight Bat with Gulf News, our weekly news analysis of the Cricket World Cup. And I'm Sham, and with me is Satish and Ashfaq. We have two guests, actually, and one is our Indian international, that is Robin Uthappa. And then we also have Sai Prasad, who is a Dubai-based cricket enthusiast. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sham.
Thank you, Sham.
Actually, now as far as the World Cup is concerned, we are at the business end of the World Cup and 3 more matches left. But before we discuss the two semi-final, that is tomorrow and day after, let's look back a little bit and see how some of the teams fared. Robin, first up is you. This is regarding England. We had discussed how England was a spectacular flop in this World Cup. But tell us, where do they go from here? Will they ever be the same force as they were in the last 7 years?
Well, to be honest, outside of the possibly since 2019 onwards, I don't know how many World Cup semi-finals they have qualified into. So for me, England have been a great side over the last 4 5 years, and a force to reckon with. And clearly for them, baseball was working for a certain period of time, but that novelty was going to wear off at some point in time, because it's not something that can be sustainable. Their record in the World Cups haven't been that great. If you look, barring the two World Cups that have gone by, say last year's T20 World Cup and the one before that in 2019, which they won, which was essentially a draw, which was conceded to them based on a more number of boundaries that they've gotten. Their World Cup record hasn't been one of the greatest. And this whole concept of baseball was going to be a novelty that would wear off at some point in time. And I think it's something that a lot of cricketers saw happening. Having said that, it's the way they've decided to play, and they knew that this could happen. So I'm certain that they have contingency plans in place. But having said that, I think that they will go back to playing that way, because it's something that's worked for them. I think playing in the subcontinent, that is not necessarily the best way to go about it, especially when you're not used to the conditions as they are in other parts of the world. So I don't know if baseball is the best method that would be applicable here in India, especially in one-day cricket.
Ashfaq is back, our Pakistani expert. He's missed us for something like 3 weeks, so he's refreshed. But his team has been a bit of a disappointment. They failed to qualify for the final, but narrowly. Ashfaq, Pakistan lost the chance to make the semi-finals. Where do you think they went wrong? Do you see any major changes coming up in the near future? Because you have the T20 World Cup coming up next year.
Well, Sham, thank you very much. Sham, I think they didn't lose narrowly. They lost 5 matches out of 9, so that's not narrowly. This big defeat. And I think for Pakistan, I think it's one of the poorest World Cup performance. And we in Pakistan calling it a World Cup of regret and shame for Pakistan, because they had no match against India. And it was just one-sided match, and it was total shame for us. And losing to Afghanistan was another shameful thing for us, because we were not expected to lose to Afghanistan. And I would say they lacked the spark. They were not there to. If you remember my first talk, I told you that it would be a miracle if they make it to semi-final. And
true,
that's exactly what happened here. Asham.
Yeah, Sai, another team which impressed here was Afghanistan. For 4 wins, I mean, they would be a happy bunch. What really worked for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. I mean, they had an all-round team effort, and I think, the bowling attack was fantastic. And something surprised me was how Ibrahim Zadar worked. He was a top scorer for Afghanistan, and if not for Glenn Maxwell, and that match, if they would have won, it was a turnaround for them. That Glenn Maxwell innings. And actually, what shocked me was it showed a little bit of lack of experience in bowling. basically what happened was if they would have bowled a little away from the wicket, they were trying to get Maxwell out thinking that he was weak. So I think if they can improvise on, learn from this experience and come back again, I think they will be a force to reckon with in the next World Cup or the Champions Trophy.
Yes, Sai. Before that, Satish, Netherlands is another team which impressed a bit because they won only 2 matches, but they showed plenty of promise, especially for one associate side in a tournament full of full members. They did very well, isn't it? Which when you say or talk about 2 wins, that means they took down 2 full ICC members. So what do you make of their show?
Shyam, I think the one good thing right now I see in their favor is they have been consistently improving. If you look at they managed to beat South Africa in the T20 World Cup in Australia last year, and that must have given them some confidence, and which they try to build on it, and then exactly the same South African team they beat in their third match, and that after that, once you win, I think that confidence gives you helps you to perform better. That inhibition is gone. Then your nerves are you can handle your nerves much better than when you don't win a match. So all this, like will help them to perform better. And as an associate nation, I think this is a phenomenal thing. And they have very good youngsters who have got some good experience in county cricket. And you have, of course, role of Roloff, who has played for South Africa and who's bringing that experience
Van der
for
Merwe.
the team. Van der Merwe, yeah, he's bringing that experience to the Dutch team. So I think it's a phenomenal effort because none of us even thought that they would even win a match. But yes, they have certainly done excellent, exceedingly well, and they are the team to watch out for in the future events, I would say.
Guys, now let's head over to the semi-final. That is the elephant in the room. Tomorrow's semi-final, we can't escape. Robin, here is where we need your input. India has won all the games here, and that too, all of them were in the league. Tomorrow is a knockout. That is a different beast, isn't it? Tell us what India can expect.
Well, I expect India to win it, given the kind of form that they're in. As in, if you got to look at it from a very objective perspective, the three departments of the game are very, very strong, and they're performing excellently, as in they're batting, bowling, and fielding exceptionally well. 4 out of 5 batters, the top 5 batters, have gotten hundreds, and we have to understand that Shubman Gill is coming back from dengue. And despite coming back from dengue, he's had a very good tournament, because I can personally tell you, coming back from dengue into playing cricket in full flow at the highest level, at the highest possible level in a World Cup, is not easy at all. And it takes a while for the body to get adjusted. There's a lot of body pain involved, and to see the way he's been batting has been tremendously pleasurable. And I think he's ripe for 100. And I thought by this point he should have got at least 1 or 2 hundreds. He'd be a little disappointed not convert that 50 against Netherlands into a big one, because the way he was batting, he looked good for a double 100, not just 100, to be honest. So for me, batting is covered. Bowling, let's go through the bowlers. Bumrah 17, Shami 16, Jaddu 16, Kuldeep 14, Siraj 13. Like, what more could you ask for from a bowling lineup at a tournament like this? And the fielding has been top notch. But besides all of this, what really stands out for me is the energy of the group, is the camaraderie within the group. It's very rare in Indian cricket to be able to kind of bring that all together and for it to work together during the course of a tournament. And they have been able to do that. I've seen it happen a couple of times in the 2011 World Cup. You felt that camaraderie was the same. In 2007, when we won the World Cup in South Africa, the camaraderie felt similar. It is, you can sense that camaraderie from outside, and if it's that visible, then you can only imagine how tight the group are within that, within themselves. They seem like they're playing for each other. They're enjoying each other's success. All the wonderful signs of a great team that has great camaraderie, and team that wants to go all the way. So New Zealand, make no mistake, New Zealand are a phenomenal side. They are playing against equals for sure. They are not a lesser side. Don't go by their performances in the last 5 games. They will leave you in shock and awe. if you give them an inch. So I'm looking forward to this game. I certainly believe that a lot is dependent on the toss. I think the team that bats second will have a big advantage.
Satish, you had written an article of saying that how India can, 5 reasons why India can win. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think more or less what Robin had told me. The team is firing on all cylinders in all three departments. Plus, the batting is revolving around the Rohit and the Kohli, who are the pillars of the team, whereas the others are also performing in their roles. Then the conditions. That's another one which is working in India's favor, where India generally they don't lose, and then it's a fortress that hard to be breached. And then you have the bowling, where again Robin Uthappa said, you have 5 bowlers in the top 15, where everybody has got wickets. In comparison, if you look at New Zealand, have probably 2 bowlers and 2 batsmen in their lineup. So that's where I'm saying that it is the bowlers have the edge again, and most importantly, the familiarity of playing in Wankhede Stadium, Nisham, where uh, despite all this, you have 4 players who do play on a regular basis, like Shreyas Iyer, Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah. All of them have played plenty of games in the Wankhede Stadium, where the moment you go into a familiar surface, which is very familiar to you, it gives you that extra edge. I'm sure Robin will accept that, because every time you will walk into a place where you have done well, where you have performed
When
well,
Robin
you will
walks
have
into
that extra
Chinnaswamy
energy.
Stadium.
No, I think maybe Robin might have a different venue also, isn't it, Robin? Like, what's your favorite venue? Whenever you,
Time.
so which is your favorite venue? Whenever you walk in, you will feel that I will score.
Well, certainly Eden Gardens and Mumbai and Bangalore, for sure. Both the venues in Mumbai, Brabon and Wankhede, are exceptional batting tracks. I certainly believe that these batting tracks will, it will be a high-scoring game. I don't think the spinners will be as effective as they have been in previous games, unless the wicket are prepared for spin. Having said that, I think the batters will score a lot of runs, and there will be swing and seam in the first 10 overs of the second innings. So whoever's batting second, if they can survive the first 10 overs, that swing and seam will have advantage on their side.
Ashfaq, you are the neutral here.
Yeah,
So what is your what's your objective opinion on where do you see the India-New Zealand match going?
See, I can see India and South Africa finals. That's
So
my observation.
all right, I get you. So you are batting for India for tomorrow's match. So
Yes, of course.
let me quickly go over to Sai. Sai, see, New Zealand has been a kind of a nemesis for us. We lost to New Zealand in the last 2019. We lost to New Zealand. We lost the World Test Championship to New Zealand. So it's a tricky side, like Robin said. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, they always love the tag of underdogs, but that is their biggest strength. So, do you think that could happen tomorrow?
See, I don't want to jinx it. I always wish that India will win. But, when, and also you look at it, Rachin's form and Daryl Mitchell and Santner, these three are very, very critical in New Zealand's game. And it's how India plays Santner that will make the match. And if Rohit and Gill comes in flying colors, then there's nothing like it. I mean, I really hope that Rohit will do his due diligence. I mean, he'll play his best in tomorrow. And tomorrow is a make or break day, and it's a time to pay back. And I'm confident. I'm very happy. I'm very hopeful that these guys, our team, will come back, and they'll break the jinx.
Robin, quickly back to you for the last question. What do you see any key areas where India has to be careful, in the sense, like any tricky areas where India should be careful about something which they should negotiate, especially against a New Zealand side?
Well, I'm very confident of our bowling and equally confident about our batting. But I think the first 10 overs of each innings is going to be very crucial. That's what sets the tempo of the game, and a game can be made or broken there. So I think the first 10 overs are going to be very, very crucial when India bat, whether it's the first or the second innings. Just the way they're bowling, I think they keep their wits about themselves. I think they will do exceptionally well. But I wouldn't be surprised if New Zealand come out all guns blazing against the Indian fast bowling attack, because no one really has counter-attacked India so far. So if they're choosing to go that way, they could go that way, and you never know. With the Kiwis, I've never perceived a game against the Kiwis as a payback game, but you just know that they're a force to reckon with in world cricket. And one of the things they do really well is they play together as a team. They like low profile. So there's a lot to love about this New Zealand side. And you look at guys like Devin Conway, his story. You look at Rachin Ravindra, his story. These are very endearing stories within that group, and it epitomizes the kind of team that they are. So you respect them. But you want to play competitive cricket and continue to dominate. And this Indian team reminds me of the 2007 Australian team that won the World Cup without losing a game. And I certainly believe that, and I hope and pray that that's what will happen as well. Because I would be heartbroken if this Indian team doesn't make it, doesn't go in the World Cup, because like I said, the camaraderie within the group, especially in Indian cricket, with all the dynamics that it entails, it's very hard to find this camaraderie. And it's taken a lot, I think, within this group to find that. And so I want this team to go all the way, personally.
Shyam,
Satish,
just to interrupt this, yeah, 1 second. Robin, you have played with Conway, you have played with Santner. What do you think is the difference that the New Zealanders do, whereas the other cricketers have not done? Because they seem to be, as you said, they seem to be very happy to keep a low profile. But what do they do best to make sure that they stand out in their performance? Because that kind of a mindset we are not able to understand.
So I think they're a very process-driven side, and they're not looking for individual glory, so to speak. And they like being low profile. It's in their culture to be low profile. And they are genuinely the nice guys of world cricket. And I've had experiences with multiple Kiwis, and I can't think of one Kiwi who I've had a negative experience with. So for me, they are the perennial kind of good guys. And I remember during the World Test Championship final, I was like, okay, if we lose to anyone, I took solace from the fact that, okay, we lost to New Zealand because they were like the good guys, missed out because they didn't get an extra boundary, So that's the kind of feeling that they kind of invoke in you. So it's a great side, and they play for each other, and it's a camaraderie, I think, is within that group is great. And I think in team sport, when you have that, you can create magic that seldom that can be created in individual sport. I think that's what makes team sport so beautiful, because you bring in 20, 25, 50, sometimes 55 minds in the likes of an NFL team, perhaps, to come together to win a championship. And it's not easy at all. People come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different upbringings, to get all of that together and move in one direction, and to be willing to be led with the kind of egos that you already have. And you need a big ego to perform at the highest level. So it takes a lot for all of those dynamics to come in together. And I feel like India are in a very sweet spot right now with as far as that is concerned.
Lovely. Sorry, Shyam. Sorry. I interrupted you.
So it's all right. That's all from us today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our guests. And for more updates and breaking news, please log on to gulfnews.com and all our social media sites. Thank you, guys. Thanks very much.